Hello everyone and welcome back to the United Region. We've had a long hiatus, but it is good to be back. And I want to talk to you about something very important and very special because today is Mental Health Awareness Day. And mental health can mean, be the result of many different things for many different people. And while it may have a textbook definition, it can be the result, like I said, result of many different things, but emotionally it also means many things. I know that may not make sense since we're talking mental, but I think it means like a person being stable and comfortable with who they are. And there are many different ways for that. There are different elements is what I'm trying to say. And now that I think about it, there's the psychological stage, which refer to emotions or memory, traumatic events, if any. Of course, there are different levels of trauma. And let's see, what else? The physical, how you take care of your body, health, sleep, diet, physical exercise, those things. And, believe me, I have learned the difference sleep makes. It's recommended, I believe. I was told that you should have 8 hours, 7 hours. 7 to 8 hours, I'm right as rain. And actually, there's a good example on one of my favorite shows, Seinfeld, about what happens if you don't get enough sleep. And believe me, you don't want to end up like this. Take a look.
I'm on no sleep. No sleep. You don't know what it's like in there. All night long, things are creaking and cracking, and that red light is burning my brain.
You look a little stressed.
Oh, I'm stressed.
I love that. But trust me, no one would love what that feels like. Believe me. It's important to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep or a decent amount of sleep, whatever you need. Otherwise, that leaves you exhausted and you're mentally exhausted, and you can't function. Your brain can't do the work at what I've been called all four cylinders, at its peak, if you will. And so it's very important, sleep. Another thing, and this is a little more emotional, but it does play a psychological part, self-awareness. Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else, but yes, self-awareness. Self-awareness, that's another aspect of mental health. And as someone who was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when 13, I can't say I'm an expert. I'm not, but I do have a unique experience, and I have a perspective on the subject. And it's taken me some time to learn, at least for me, that self-awareness is not something that someone, if anyone, if anyone is born with. Like any skill or knowledge, it has to be practiced and disciplined, mastered, and studied. And just like knowing how to live among other people, especially in a different culture, I'm guessing, or knowing how to be part of a community. And believe me, I know something about trying to understand being part of a group of people. And what I'm trying to say is, with mental health, self-awareness, you have to, it's kind of like clothing or a skill, as I was saying, you have to grow into it. You have to gain experience. At least for me, I had to gain experience, and the more experience you've gained and the more you've grown into life, the more you can kind of understand, that you can reflect on your life and know kind of what you do, have a better idea of what you do or don't need, and then you can kind of go for it. You recognize the steps to be a little more independent or self-sufficient. Now that doesn't mean you're completely independent. Everyone needs help from everyone else once in a while. Everyone depends on everyone, I've learned. No one does everything on their own. We have to know when to ask for help. But that's another element, another piece to the puzzle. No one will ask for us. We have to know what kind of help we need and who to go to. And we also need to feel accepted, as well as know that our emotions matter. We have to know that there is a sense of control. I've struggled with anxiety in the past, and I've had to learn that I'm in control of my emotions. When they're strong, it's still hard, but it helps to lie down on a couch silently for a few minutes, or watching something lighthearted, comedy, something like that, or I do drawings. I went sitting on a bridge over Gulf Breeze. It was beautiful. Overlooking Gulf, doing some fishing, very nice. And emotions, we have to know that our emotions matter, whatever they are, and why we're feeling them. Regardless of what they are, they have to feel acknowledged. We have to feel acknowledged. And when we do, when we feel heard, when we feel mattered, then we have that control. We have that control. And unfortunately, that isn't always something that everyone just understands. We have to grow into it. And the more we grow into our lives and experiences, the more we can kind of control what we're feeling and be able to be more than that. And it's a key aspect of mental health. Reverend Fred Rogers, who some of you may know as Mr. Rogers, once spoke back in 1969 when he was speaking to a senator in New York for funding to continue his children's show when it was still fairly new. And he talks about feelings being mentionable and manageable, and about how they can help children and help in the development of mental health. I'd like you to see it.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health.
Along with the ability itself to maintain self-control of emotions and staying centered for maintaining mental health, it's also important to have releases In my case, it could be jogging, the being still with the energy. Some people, I learned about colored pencils. I used to fill in drawings with colored pencils. When I started as a teacher's aides a few years back, and everyone has a different release. Some people do puzzles. I've been meaning to get into puzzles. The trick is to personalize that hobby or release so it fits you and you can engage in it. And it's important to have a positive release. Believe me, if you don't, well, not only do we end up masking the feelings, but I think we can all agree, anyone who knows what this is would agree this isn't exactly a positive way to deal with your feelings. You end up masking all that frustration, and not to mention what I'm trying to say is it's important to accept yourself, and you need people in your life who accept you for who you are so that one day you can too. Now, your opinion matters about yourself more than anyone else, but it makes a difference. I should know. I was thinking the other day how I'm pretty lucky to have a family who accepts me for who I am. Whether or not you have autism, that makes the biggest difference for mental health and taking care of yourself. And believe me, it's one of the most important and beautiful things anyone can do to help with mental health. Well, we're about out of time for this video, but before I go, speaking of this mask, and yes, it is a Batman mask. I made it myself, and I made it for Halloween. And if you'd like to see the next costume, or if you want to talk Batman, I'll not only show you my costume, but I have a special Batman Day planned, because this year is the 85th anniversary of the Batman franchise. So we'll talk all about that in the next coming weeks in one of our future videos, and I'll talk to you soon. You have a great week. Bye.